Hello everybody, I'm Dutch, and I want to give some tips and tricks to splicing am steel. I've seen a lot of other tutorials showing you how to do a whoopee sling or how to do a continuous loop, but I wanted to get a little bit more involved into some of the tricks to make this a little bit easier. So we're going to make a continuous loop, an 8-inch continuous loop out of 7/64 am steel, and I want to show you some of the tricks that we do use. So in order to make an 8-inch continuous loop, you want to start with 25 inches of 7/64 am steel. So the first thing we have to do is put a taper on the end of both of these. This is an 8-strand rope. What I like to do with am steel is I remove all but one of half of the strands. So this is an 8-strand rope. I remove 3 strands for my taper. Some people like to go half, but I find that makes a bit of a step that you have to go to pull into the rope, and does not always work well for me. So I go for 3. First thing I want to do, it opens up like an accordion. This is a hollow braid rope, of course, and I want to open that up, and you can see how I'm moving it like an accordion. I want to be about an inch from the edge for the taper. Although the closer you get this, you can only go so far, but if you make that 7/8, it actually makes your life a little bit better. But 1 inch is a good rule of thumb. The first thing I want to do is pull out 3 strands. But when I do this, I want to keep this as pristine as possible. It will make your life better down the road. So rather than use the sharp end of my needle, I like to grab the dull end of my needle, or the eye, and I come in here and I grab a strand, and when I pull it towards the end, and hopefully that pulls that out of there and keeps all this nice. You want to be kind of random with it, but you don't have to sit there and count over 2, but I want to keep all of my strands right about the same place. So I'm going to grab another strand, and I'm going to pull that out. And we need one more strand. So we have separated out 3 strands, and we kept this from getting too fluffy. So then it comes time to cut this rope. Now I want to keep this as absolutely close to the main rope as possible, because what I'm trying to prevent here is some little bit of fluff from the end of this being cut, and then I have to pull that in later. So I like to use these breakaway knives because first of all, you're going to be dull on these knives, and they are razor sharp and they're super thin. So the way I hold this rope is I pull the 5 strands straight up, and I pull these 3 strands, I hold over here, and I pull here. There's pressure on all of that. Now, I have, at the apex of this is where all those strands are. And we just cut with a sawing motion, and hopefully we have a nice clean cut there. And this will be very easy to feed back in through each other. You'll see that right now, these strands are nice and smooth. They are not getting fluffy and frayed, and that will make my life easier down the road. As you keep working these are going to get fluffier and fluffier. So we're going to do that the same on both ends. I've already pulled out the 3 strands. And we now have a 1-inch taper on both sides. So next thing I want to do is I want to measure. For a 7/64 rope, you want a 3.5-inch bury. So first we have to lock the Bremel. So I'm going to measure 3.5 inches. And what I like to do is I mark it, because I'm going to want I want it to be scrunched up like an accordion anyhow in order to get the needle through there. So I mark it by doing that. So this is 3.5 inches to here. You can thread your needle first, or you can thread your needle afterwards. I like to do it afterwards, but you want to put it through at that 3.5 point. I am making sure that I am 4 strands over here, 4 strands over here, and most importantly, that I'm not splitting a strand. If you split a strand, not only did you weaken this rope, but also it is going to be much more difficult to pull the other strand through. So on this first one, it does not matter what direction I put that needle through as long as there's 4 strands on each. And then comes the threading of the needle. Now these big needles have a pretty big eye, but to make this easier, I pinch, I put up against there, and I roll my fingers back. And as I do, the only place for those strands to go is through that needle. Now, back here is where my taper starts. This is obviously the end of my rope. I want to be right in between the two. And the reason for that is I'm now going to fold this back. And I like to make this as small as possible. So right now, there is 10 strands right here. And then comes the taper, and then there's 8 strands. If I went back to here, it would be 5 strands plus 8 strands, and there'd be 13 strands. But another thing it would do is it would tend to make those strands that I cut want to come out because you're going to be right at the bend. And this way, they are almost hidden and making a much smoother transition to pull this through. This splice is very easy and would not be that critical. But as we keep going down the road with this, it's going to get more difficult. So to keep that in mind, you want to go halfway from the end of the rope until where your taper starts. So if you make this nice and small by rolling your fingers a little bit, you pull this through, and I'm trying not to cover it up with my fingers, but it pops through. I mean, it is really, really easy if you do everything right. On all of this, if you are pulling hard, if things aren't working and you are really tugging hard through this, then you're not doing something right and you're just making yourself more difficult. So I'm going to pop this off of here, and I'm now going to want to run. I ran this strand through here, and I now want to run this strand through this rope, and that will lock this in place. I could measure, because the place I want to do it is 3.5 inches, but instead of measuring, I just hold the two up together, and now I know I'm at the 3.5 mark. So, again, this strand ran through this strand, so now I want to put this strand through this strand. So I pull this back just a little bit, and I open it up again. Now I'm going to stick this needle in again, and I want to keep everything on the same plane. This rope is not twisted, and I want to pull this rope through here. And in doing so, I don't want the eye to be on this side, because then the rope has to go and twist around and come through, which does not make as nice of a transition. So I want to keep everything on the exact same plane. Point of the needle. Quick look, I can see I got 4 strands on each side. I don't actually count them, but you can see if it's unbalanced. I'm going to thread the needle again. Remember, halfway from the where the taper is to the end, fold it back, pull it through the same way. And you can see as I keep going, things are going to start unraveling. This is going to get a little fluffier. There's a strand right here that's starting to get loose. You want to manipulate this as little as possible to keep everything going as easy as possible. Now, if I pull this rope right now, if I pull these 2 strands, it gets loose. If I pull these 2 strands, it gets real tight. And that's what we want. We want to get that nice and tight. So we've already made the lock this into position. And the only thing we have to do here yet is to hide these two strands. And the only place to hide these two strands is in this rope. Now you can do this. I like to use a needle, and I like to use a loop turner. You can certainly use a piece of wire. A lot of people like to use fluoro wire, and that does work really well. I like it that I got a nice big eye, and on a latch hook, I really like the hook of a loop turner because it makes it really easy to put it in there. Makes for a really nice transition. So I'm going to use the loop turner for here, although I could use a needle, but the process is still the same. When I enter the needle in here, I want to go an inch further than what this rope is. And the reason for that is if I go in right the same place, when this rope is inside of this rope, it makes this rope a little bit shorter. And you would actually have a little bit of rope popping out that we would have to deal with. And really, there is no solution for that other than pull it back out and do it. So I put these down along each other, and I go 1 more inch. Again, fluff it up like an accordion. So I'm going to put the loop turner in. I have the gate on here. I have it open. One thing important with this is once you go a direction, you can't change directions, at least not easily, because if I pull back, it's going to close up. It's probably going to grab a strand, and you will not be able to really get it back cleanly. So I'm going to enter in. Now, you may think that the ideal thing here to do is to push the tool through the rope, but what you really want to do is you want to push the rope onto the tool. Now, what this does is it opens this up because I'm pushing on here. So it opens up, so it makes it really easy for that tool to go through there. And if I try pushing the tool through, there's a good chance that I could pop out through some of the strands. So I take it all the way, and I want to bring it all the way into where these intersect, and then I want to come out very close to here. I want to make sure that, again, I don't split a strand. And you can see the tool coming out. And we have accomplished that. So if I keep this scrunched up like this, this rope will pull through very easily. If I am pulling hard on something, you'll see that it tightens up, and you're not going to get that other rope through there. So the idea is to pull that rope through when this thing is scrunched up like an accordion, because there's plenty of room for it. So when I put the rope on the loop turner, again, I want to go halfway from the taper to the end, and I lay it across, and I kind of pull the strands in, and then I close the gate. So to hold the gate closed, I push that up there. Now I've made this small again by kind of pulling these strands back, and I've kept this big because I am pushing back on here. So all 3.5 inches, there's probably 4.5 inches of rope is condensed down to about this 1.5 inch area. This thing is a big tunnel that goes through here, and I have to pull through the rope. Now, versus just pulling it straight through, if you just massage it a little bit, you'll see, as long as I'm keeping pressure back here on this thumb, pushing that up, it easily sucks that in, and there is no pressure at all on doing this. Once you got past where the taper started, those 10 strands there, it goes very easy, and at that point, you can just pull it out. So I pull out all those strands, and then I come back here and I milk this, and this is where the magic happens. Now, if I did that long enough, you'll see that all those strands disappear into the rope. So we've already hidden one. We got to do the other side. It is the same process. I come down the 3.5 inches. I go about another inch. Enter the tool, make sure the gate's open. I am pushing the rope onto the tool. You can see how that's opening up. Come here to where they intersect. And pop the tool out. I lay those strands across there, and then I close the gate. This is all scrunched up nice and big. Now, as I'm massaging this, I'm pulling a little bit here, but mostly it is working itself right through there. And once it pops in there like that, like it just did, you know you're good. And pull that strand out. If something got jammed up there, I would have a very tough time. You want to be going only in one direction. You want to be pulling this out. You don't want this gate to open up. Because if it does, the gate's going to pop through, and you'll have a difficult time getting that out. One more thing here, I like to go and give this an extra little pull in. It kind of pulls where those two meet. It pulls it in a little bit, and it makes it so it's going to have as nice of a transition as possible. And then after that, it's just going to pull out. And that is how you make continuous loop. When I'm done, I got myself an 8-inch continuous loop. Thank you, everybody.